Back in July, I had a chance during Big Ten Media Days just to talk to PJ's agent for a few minutes about getting together this year as we went through the year. And so I guess it started back in July at that time period.
Mark, was there any thought of letting the season play out, or do you just feel like the timing was right now with some of his name getting floated in some of these job openings?
No, well, first off, Chip, I can't tell you how grateful I am for President Gable. She has come in here and has done an unbelievable job supporting not only our football program, but all of our programs and our student athletes. And obviously, when you start to have these conversations, you have to have your president up to speed on those conversations. And President Gable has been incredibly supportive of this conversation. So, again, we've had these conversations since July. And obviously, as we started to have more success on the field, which was awesome. The academic stuff, the other things that we've been doing so well, we just felt like when we had going into that off week, that'd be a good time to start to further those conversations along.
Can you share what the annual rate is, buyout, those kinds of things?
Yeah, so 7-year deal. His pay will go to $4.6 million. And then the buyout, Andy, there's kind of two. The buyout, if he leaves in year one, it's a $10 million buyout. If he left Minnesota, and we guarantee 65% of the contract.
Mark, the buyout, how important was it for you to get some protection too, that, make it punitive if some school does try to hire him?
Well, Chip, if you remember when I was hired, 3.5 years ago, I talked about, we truly feel that Minnesota is a destinational program. And I didn't want it to be a transitional program for any of our sports. And I feel like we've got really good coaches in place. And obviously, in college football, especially those buyouts, people pay attention to them. And we're grateful for, again, the support from President Gable, from our Board of Regents to do a contract like this. It's an important step for our program. We feel like it's an important step for our program. So obviously we had a lot of conversations about the buyout on both sides, what we would guarantee to Coach Fleck, the buyout on our side if he chose to leave. So again, we feel comfortable with that buyout number.
As you sit down and reflect upon what Coach Fleck and the staff have done, what makes you the most proud?
Daniel, that's a great question. I can tell you the very first time we sat down with him, if you recall, I talked about his authentic energy just comes right at you, and you all have seen that now for a few years. But he laid out a very specific plan of what he was going to do at Minnesota in that very initial meeting, and he has not missed any of the things he talked about. He talked about the culture, about the total program he was going to build. And again, if you look at what we're doing academically, highest grade point average we've had in school history with our football program. If you look at what we're doing right now on the field, obviously ending the year with 2 big wins last year, then the 8 wins to start this year. We have a great opportunity on Saturday against the number 5th ranked team in the country. So he's hit all those benchmarks and exceeded them. So that's why we felt like this was the right time to do this.
Mark, were you worried at all that there was a chance that he would walk away?
No, and you may not believe me, and the reason I say that is, PJ and I are very different people, but what we have in common is a very strong relationship and a lot of trust. And again, when we made this hire, when you have success, people are going to come after you. It's just part of what we do every day. People come after your coaches. And PJ and I, Heather, my wife Kristen, we're all very close. I think PJ believes in what we're trying to do here as a department. If you recall, I talked about we wanted to shake the tree when we hired PJ. We were very, very intentional when we hired him. We felt like his energy, his enthusiasm for all of our programs, for our department would be infectious. And again, I wasn't worried about it because he and I have had conversations almost daily, every day throughout the year, not just during the season. He and I spend a lot of time talking to each other, and a lot of times those conversations have nothing to do with football. It's just life in general. So I feel like we have a really strong trust relationship between each other.
1 or 2 more for Mark? Okay.
All right.